Working some more on the, I guess you'd call it the internal levee. What it is it's the outflow from the pond. And I've got pipe that goes through down there, and that's in a trench that I dug down 2 feet from the original outflow level. And then I've got this pipe coming up here that goes down to it. Right now I've got that one to let the water keep going through so I can keep digging down here in the shallow area next to it. But I'm building up this levee. Clay is the base layer, and then I'm using the sediment and the root masses from the sedges to cover it and protect it from the water washing the clay out. And it's almost done. I've got to bring it up another over there. I've got to bring it up quite a bit still, that last little section. Can't tell very well from the video, but this last, like, about 4 or 5 feet over here, I've got to raise that section another 2 feet basically, and the rest of it needs to go up another 6 to 12 inches, more or less, just to make sure there's a little bit of leeway in there so it can get above the pipe without overtopping. And then it'll go out through this pipe, down to that pipe, out through down there. I gotta clean all this hose out. I was using this last summer to move water around when the pond was real low. This year, the point of this is before the spring rains are over, I'm gonna have this finished, and I'll close up. Here, I'm gonna walk around to the pond side so you can see it from the water side. So that lower pipe there, I'll close that off, and the outflow will go through that upper pipe and down through the bottom there. If it overtops, it's not a huge issue because it'll just go down through the existing overflow. It's already there. It's not a big deal. As long as the entire levee doesn't fail, which it shouldn't. I did the same thing last year, although not quite as tall. I'm trying to get it up to its full height this year. The water up to its full height, I should say. Over the summer, I'm going to add the valves to the bottom of the pipe down there, so that next year I won't even need this. I can just take this out completely, and the whole thing will just operate using the valves for the control on the pipe at the other end. I might leave it in as a backup system just in case there's a problem. That way I can just use this to as insurance, I guess you'd say, against too much water at a time going through that outflow. And in case the valves fail, like, I can always block this back up if I need to take the valves off and replace them. And it's a good planting area. I'll probably put some aronia berry or some other water-loving food plants on the top of it. But this will allow me to have about 4 feet of total height of the water that I can draw down from the maximum fill point. So I gotta get this done before the spring rains are over, because we're going into an El Nino year, and those are highly likely to be droughts around here. And I see a lot of the country is already in the drought stage, more so than it was last year this time. So I want to make sure everything is set up as well as I can before that happens. I got another area over in the field there that I need to start digging out and damming up for a small pond over there as another backup water source. When you're growing rice as a staple, you definitely have to make sure you've got the water for it. There's no getting around that. And those smaller, shallower ponds over there, those will get Wapato and water lotus planted in them. So it'll be a backup secondary food source, and some variety. Water lotus is a is a fun vegetable, the root. And the seeds are edible. You can use the leaves to wrap food, like a little bit like tamales. But it's something that's fairly common in China and Southeast Asia, to wrap food and steam it in lotus leaf. Anyway, that's it for today. Get that out of here. Gotta finish gathering up all these tires too.